Good morning. I'm going to call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the Minneapolis City Council. Clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Fry.
Here.
Palmisano.
Present.
Gordon.
Here.
Kano.
Here.
Reich.
Here.
Bender.
Here.
Glidden.
Here.
Yang is absent. Johnson.
Here.
Quincy.
Here.
Warsame.
Present.
Goodman.
Present.
President Johnson.
Here.
There are 12 members present.
We have a quorum present this morning. The next item on our agenda is adoption of the agenda. Any changes or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, a motion to approve the agenda is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in approval say aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Next, we have the acceptance of the regular meeting of September 19th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Next, we have referral petitions and communications and reports of the city officers to proper council committees and departments.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We have our regular committee structure now, and the first first committee to report is the Community Development and Regulatory Services Committee, and that is chaired by Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam President. The Community Development and Regulatory Services Committee is bringing forward 10 items for approval this morning. Notable items include item number 2, which is a change in our tree servicing ordinance amendment to require an arborist to work for no more than 4 tree service companies, as well as the classification of tax forfeited land and the deferral of monthly loan payments at the Mercado Central. With that, I will move items 1 through 10 and note that there is an amendment to item 8 that I am moving as well.
Councilmember Goodman has moved the Community Development Report. Any discussion on any of those items? And Councilmember Goodman, that is the one that the amendment is the one that's the motion by Councilmember Reich? Yes, Madam President. Okay. Just a simple change. Okay. Great. Thank you. That's in front of you. Any discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Fry.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Glidden.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Quincy.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye.
There are 12 ayes.
That report is adopted. Next, we have Health, Energy, and Environment and Community Engagement, and that committee is chaired by Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you, Madam President. Our committee is bringing forward 4 items for consideration today. The first is a staff direction related to Indigenous Peoples Day, directing staff to work with community leaders, especially the Metropolitan Urban Indian Directors, and work across city departments to operationalize the spirit and intent of the Indigenous Peoples Day resolution. The second item is authorizing execution of up to $100,000 in sub-grant agreements with the Alliance for Metropolitan Stability for outreach related to the North Minneapolis Greenway Initiative. And the third item is to authorize execution of a 5-year master grant contract with the state of Minnesota, acting as the Minneapolis Community Health Board, and authorize the Commissioner of Health to sign individual project agreements as the Community Health Service Administrator for the city. And the final is to amend a grant agreement with the Department of Justice so that we can accept another $222,200 in funding for an additional year for youth violence prevention activities. And I will move all 4 items forward for approval.
Councilmember Gordon has moved the committee report. Any discussion on any of those items? Anyone want to pull anything off? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Glidden.
Aye.
Yang.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Quincy.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That report is adopted. Next, we have the Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Emergency Management Report. With that committee's chair, Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 4 items today. The first item is to approve a staff direction to the City Attorney's Office to research and offer a legal opinion on or before October 22nd, 2014, on whether the City of Minneapolis has the legal authority under civil rights laws to enforce a ban on the use of the name Redskins as well as a ban on the use of the image worn by the Washington, D.C. professional football team while playing in the city of Minneapolis at the stadium operated by the University of Minnesota. Item number 2 is to approve staff direction that city staff be directed not to authorize expenditures of city resources on future military training exercises in Minneapolis unless approved by the city council, and to develop a process including engagement of the council for considering approval of future requests by federal agencies, including but not limited to the Department of Defense and other military units, and to conduct activities in Minneapolis that are likely to cause disruption to Minneapolis residents and businesses. Item number 3, to authorize acceptance of grant funds from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Institute of Justice in the amount of $93,888, and to execute a contract with them for the federal 2014 Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Program. And item number 4 is to authorize an agreement with the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Minneapolis Police Department to provide bomb security services for basketball games during the 2014-2015 season at the Target Center, and to be reimbursed at an estimated cost of $44,640. And I will move all 4 items.
Councilmember Yang has moved the Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Emergency Management Report. Anyone want to pull anything off? Any discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Yes. Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Glidden.
Aye.
Yang.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Quincy.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That report is adopted. Next, we have the Transportation and Public Works Report, and that committee is chaired by Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee forwards 10 items today for approval. Item 1 is designate the citywide streetlight operations fee assessment against properties exempt from the ad valorem taxation and set the public hearing to be held November 10th, 2014. Item 2 is designate the citywide street maintenance assessment against properties exempt from the ad valorem tax and set the public hearing for November 10th, 2014. Item 3 is authorize increase in contract with LS Black Contractors Incorporated by $178,674.54 to allow payment for additional work and performed as part of the federal project. Funds are available within the existing budget and no additional appropriation required. Item 4 is authorize application to the grant funding negotiation of an agreement with the Metropolitan Council Environmental Services for the Municipal Infiltration Inflow Grant Program, reimbursements, expenses against the cured in place pipe lining repairs for existing sewers. Item 5 is approve the application of a large block event to be held on October 11, 2014 to operate outside the time frame, and that is the Zombie Pub Crawl Block event. Item 6 is authorize the negotiation with Park Mobile USA Incorporated to provide a mobile phone payment system for on-street parking in the city. Staff returned to the committee to request authorization to execute a contract. Item 7 is authorize the city attorney to withdraw a petition of a contested case hearing to the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency concerning the South Metro Mississippi River total suspended solid total maximum daily load limits. The following items referred to the Ways and Means Committee. Item 8 is authorize execution of an agreement with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency Solid Waste and Recycling Property Services Division to host a Green Corps member for the 2014-2015 program year. Item 9 is authorize an increase in the contract with Berwald Roofing Incorporated by $3,674.12 to allow for the work not included in the original scope of the project. And the final items are low bids, except the low bid of Instaform Technologies USA for the installation of cured in place pipe for the Public Works Sewer Construction Division, and accept the low bid of Vortec Hydrovac for storm sewer system cleaning for the Sewer Construction Division. I move all items for approval, Madam President.
Councilmember Reich has moved the entire Transportation Public Works report. Anyone want to pull anything off or discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Bender. Glidden.
Aye.
Yang.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Quincy.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That report is adopted. Next, we have the Ways and Means Report with that committee's chair, Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam President. Ways and Means Committee will bring forward 4 items for your approval today. The first item are 2 legal settlements. The second item is the amendment to a contract with Insight Wireless and Smart City for the Convention Center Wireless Network Services Agreements. The third item is relating to an extension of a contract with Curtis Communications for the Human Resource Classroom online training. And the fourth and final item are two passage of resolutions for collective bargaining agreements with the Convention Center Production Technicians Unit and the Waterworks Maintenance Unit. Happy to move all four items for approval.
Councilmember Quincy has moved the Ways and Means report. Anyone want to pull anything off for discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Glidden.
Aye.
Yang.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Quincy.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That report is adopted. Next, we have the Zoning and Planning report. With that, committee's chair, Councilmember Bender.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 6 items to forward today from the Zoning and Planning Committee. The first is the Pillsbury A Mill Machine Shop. The committee is moving to grant one of the appeals, which is for a cargo door, and to deny an appeal which would have allowed the property owner to add 3 windows. The second item is for a sign at 1313 5th Street Southeast. The committee is recommending to grant the appeal for a sign contingent on a new condition of approval. Item number 3 is 2316 and 2320 Colfax Avenue South, to deny the appeal of several variances. Item number 4 is for the East Side Food Co-op, rezoning to create an addition and parking lot expansion. Item number 5 is the Mixed Blood Theater accessibility upgrades, which is a rezoning to allow for a new elevator and lobby addition. And the 6th item is for a rezoning to support the expansion of Southwest High School. And I will move all 6 items.
Councilmember Bender has moved the Zoning and Planning report. Does anyone want to pull anything off or discuss any of those items? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Glidden.
Aye.
Yang.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Quincy.
Aye.
Warsami. Goodman.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That report is adopted. Next, we have resolutions, and the first is an honorary resolution recognizing spina bifida awareness. Any discussion on that resolution? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Next, we have the Washington team name resolution. It's passage of a resolution calling on the National Football League and Washington team owners to change the racist name of the Washington, D.C. football franchise. Any discussion on that resolution? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Next, we have an honorary resolution declaring November 13, 2014, Give to the Max Day in the city of Minneapolis. Any discussion on that honorary resolution? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Under motions, we have Councilmember Quincy's motion that regular payrolls of the city employees under council jurisdiction for the month of November 2014 be approved and ordered paid. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Under unfinished business, we have an ordinance introduction, and it's pursuant to notice, Councilmember Gordon moves to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code relating to food code for first reading and referral to health, environment, and community engagement, amending provisions related to short-term food permits. Any discussion on that introduction? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Next, we have under ordinance introduction pursuant to notice, Councilmember Gordon moves to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code relating to health and sanitation indoor smoking for first reading and referral to the Health, Environment, and Community Engagement Committee, adopting the Minnesota Clean Air Indoor Air Act and broadening the regulation of electronic cigarettes and electronic delivery devices. Any discussion on that ordinance introduction? Seeing none, all in approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Councilmember Gordon also pursuant to notice moves to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code relating to Mini-Gasco Inc. franchise for first reading and referral to the Health, Environment, and Community Engagement Committee, repealing the existing franchise ordinance for gas distribution system and passing a new franchise ordinance for gas distribution. Any discussion on that ordinance introduction? Seeing none, all in approval say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that carries. Under ordinance introduction, then Councilmember Gordon moves to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code relating to Northern States Power Company charge for use of streets for first reading and referral to the Health, Environment, and Community Engagement Committee, repealing the existing franchise ordinance for electric distribution system and passing a new franchise ordinance for electric distribution. Any discussion on that ordinance introduction? Seeing none, all in approval say aye. Aye. Opposed, that carries. Under new business, Councilmember Glidden gives notice of intent to introduce at the next meeting of the City Council the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code relating to administration, amending provisions related to boards, commissions, committees, task forces, and similar organizations. That notice is given. And then Councilmember Andrew Johnson gives notice of intent to introduce at the next regular meeting of the City Council the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code relating to licenses and business regulation to extended hours of operation, allowing temporary extended hours of operation licenses. That notice is given. Any announcements this morning? Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to give a shout out to the Jordan Area Community Council. They're celebrating their 50th year anniversary, and the date has passed, but they're doing their celebration, I believe, on the 16th of October. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
All in approval say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Okay, record time.
Wow.
You called me, but I still don't know the answer.